This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with the White Rhino, Dave Allen. I suppose, on the topic of big sporting events, there was a few big ones this weekend, including the return of Dave Allen. And before we get into that, how's things, mate? How are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Yeah, it was a big weekend of sport. Yeah, and I was just yeah, right at the bottom of it, I guess. But it was nice to box. It was nice to box. It was a big weekend. Obviously the Euro final and stuff. But yeah, I was in action. A lot of people didn't know really. Some of my mates didn't know. Oh yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it? But just nice to be about boxing. Really, it was nice to get another win, and hopefully that's another step forward now into some bigger fights at some point.
Definitely. Well, I suppose we'll touch on that. Points victory over Amine Boucetta, who is obviously he's well known on the circuit for boxing some
Yeah.
decent kids. Boxed Louis Pichetti the week before that. Moses Jolly, Moses Atalma as well. What's his name? May Harris box as well. So yeah, solid couple rounds under the belt in your 31st professional fight, as you say.
Yeah, it was good. I don't get to box very often, so it was only 4 rounds, but I just boxed my way through really, and he was tough though. Take nothing away from him. Um, if I wanted to stop him, I would have had to work pretty hard to do it. He's
Mhm.
tough, so yeah, it was good. It was good. It wasn't, I wasn't. It wasn't an amazing performance, but really, it was one of them where you're not going to win anyway. It's hard to win. Got a losing record. Um, And while he's tough and pretty decent, he don't look great. So you're gonna hide into nothing really. But for me, it was about getting the rounds in really, and did all four because, like I say, at the minute it's been difficult. I've had I think I was on 20 rounds in 5 years. So any opportunity I get to box, I was just trying to make the most of it. So it was enjoyable. It was a good night. It was a very comfortable night, but it was enjoyable, and I feel like I got something out of it. So I was quite happy.
You mentioned, I think it was in your YouTube channel, which I will give a plug to. You mentioned about having a few opponents pull out for this as well. Having a couple guys getting stopped, so your opponent kept changing a little bit. I suppose was that a bit of a frustrating thing? Would you say? Was there any worries going in that you weren't sure who
Yeah,
you were getting?
it was. I was close to not boxing, to be honest. Um, So a few weeks out, I was boxing a fella, and then he got stopped 3 weeks out. Um, got another opponent, and he's tough and decent. I thought, well, we're all right here. He went and got stopped, and he never gets
Yeah.
stopped. Oh my God! And we got to 5 days out, and I didn't have an opponent. And I was telling everyone, don't worry about it, we're going to get someone. But I'm thinking, we're not going to get anybody. So
Yeah.
I watched Boucetta box Boucetta on the Saturday. I was enjoying it. Boucetta looks decent.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'm thinking, oh, go and push the stoppers, lad. And then Monday, when they said, look, you can box me and Boucetta, I thought, I am glad you didn't stop him now. So
Yeah.
it got to a point where it was box Boucetta or you're not boxing. And to be honest, it cost me the best part of 2 grand to box.
Yeah.
These small people think I'm making money boxing on these shows. The two fights I've had this year cost me 1,800 quid to box. So combined to box. So people think, oh, I still love it.
Mhm.
I do it a minute because I'm boxing at a low level and I'm winning. It's great. So whether the enjoyment stays when I step up, who knows? But yeah, it's a difficult game. The small low
Mhm.
boxing's so hard. It's difficult. You're not getting paid. Like I said, sometimes you're paying to box. You're not pleasing no one because I boxed at
Mhm.
the O2 on Sky. You're boxing in an all in Sheffield and everyone taking the piss out of you. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. I want to get back there, and hopefully I will.
You mentioned in there, and you mentioned previously about some of your friends not even knowing that you boxed, and I suppose it's fair to say the fight on the weekend was a relatively low key one. Sort of how do you prefer that in a way that I suppose like for these times like you just sort of grinding away where there's not much eyes or pressure on you at the moment. You'd say.
Um, it's difficult now. I think when I was younger, I've got kids and that now. You've got to earn a living, and I'm not getting no younger, so I do want to be in big fights again. So it's a difficult one because a bit of both, I guess. On Saturday, I walked to the ring and I boxed. And I thought, oh, this is nice. It was like a spa, really. You know what I mean? Took
Yeah.
me time. There weren't many there, and so it was nice in a way, but in another way. I do miss boxing in front of 20,000 people. Well,
Yeah.
even though at the time I shit myself. When I watched your bride, I shit myself. Oh, come on, there were 20,000 people there. And I thought, wow, boxing at football stadiums. So, so it is what it is. But I don't force ticket sales on anyone. I never ask anyone personally. I put it on social media. If people want to buy them, they want to buy them. I don't for. I would hate to make anyone think they had to. So yeah, at the minute while I'm boxing, at the level I'm boxing, I'm not. I've not been. I've not been. I've not been selling many tickets and stuff. But it's hard because everyone goes, well, we'll come watch you when you're back on telly, or we'll come watch you in the arena. So it's a difficult one, but it's we're hopefully we're getting to the end of that process now and can start to get into some better fights.
You mentioned that there, and I'm sure you've noticed it with a lot of boxers that when they're at a certain level, there's always a big entourage with them. You've got all these guys that come with them that may take sort of certain percents and this and that. Do you feel like you noticed it from being at the top level, headlining the O2 and this and that, to now that you've seen the sort of the change? I suppose maybe if it be people around you necessarily, not trying to throw on the,
Well,
but do you get the gist of what I'm saying?
when I land the O2, right, I managed myself. Barker trained me, and I went down with two mates to the show. And from on Tuesday night, I went down. Me and two of my mates went down. Barker turned up Wednesday, and that was it.
Yeah,
That was all it was. Um, I remember boxing at Cardiff. Well, I didn't box actually. I didn't get to box when Joshua boxed Takam.
yeah,
I was in changing rooms, right? And there was me, my trainer at the time, and one friend. Mate, there were Boatsy was in there. A Coley, I think. Mate, their entourage was about 20. Physio,
yeah,
me and my coach and a mate. Do you know what I mean? I'd
yeah,
never had an entourage. I'd never had many mates, and I just used to turn up fight week on my own with just one mate, and that were it. And it was party time, it was fight week, we were everywhere. Like you'll do fight week, you're on it all week, aren't you?
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
I watched on
yeah,
the Saturday, mate, you
yeah.
think I wouldn't box on the Saturday either, because I would just watch it all week. So yeah, I've never had an entourage, to be honest.
Hmm.
I've never
Yeah,
had all that physio, and I never had fake people around me because I'm not interested. I'm never interested. I managed myself most of my career at that point. And my coach never turned up till the day of the fight because he had shit to do at home. So it would just be
yeah,
me or maybe a mate or two, and we just have a good time. So yeah, that was about it.
yeah. And I suppose now when you look at it and as your career's gone on to the position that it's in now, how much have you noticed the motivation change, I guess, from whether it be world titles or wherever it may be till now, where as you've sort of when you look at now from the first pro fight to now the 31st, how much have you noticed that gradual change in like a motivation?
It's difficult. When I turned pro, I had 10 amateur fights, but I was a good amateur. I did well with amateurs. I got a place on the Great Britain development squad, and I turned pro instead. A bit of money was put in front of me, and I turned pro, which was a mistake in hindsight, but that's been and gone. So I turned pro, and I'll be honest, after I had three pro fights. I had a bit of a wobble already, and I was having them every fight really.
Yeah,
I wasn't training properly. Um, my personal life through most of my 20s was a shambles really. So I was always up and down. The only motivation I had really, I just wanted to fight really when I was younger. I wanted to box everyone, taking Dylan White and Ortiz. I just wanted to box. I wanted to fight everybody really. That's how I was. But I think having the kids has changed me somewhat.
yeah,
The financial side of things when I was younger never bothered me ever. I remember when Eddie used to tell me how much money. Some fights I didn't know what I was getting paid, to be honest, because I never asked. I weren't bothered. I was managing myself at the time as well, so I'd box and then I'd find out what I was getting paid after. Sometimes when I boxed Lucas Brown, I was on the train to London and he said you're going to land the O2 against Lucas Brown. I said that's fantastic news. I'm buzzing, yeah. And he
yeah,
goes, so on the phone talking, and a couple of minutes later he goes, "Have you got any questions?" I said, absolutely not. I said, I'm fucking over the moon. He goes, are you sure you got no questions? And I said, no, why? He goes, do you want to know how much you're getting paid? And I said, well, you can tell me if you want. So I weren't bothered, you know what I mean? I
yeah,
really,
yeah,
and even when I beat Brown, I got the prize fight. I remember Barker rung me on the Monday after, do you want to watch David Price? I said, sound. And he said, all right. And again, didn't even ask him what I was getting paid. Then he
Yeah.
told me. I said, oh, fucking buzzing. But that's how I was. But obviously now I've got
Yeah.
kids. People say you're back for the money, boxing for the money still. And the answer is, yeah, of course, yeah. That's a
Yeah.
big part. But it's not the only part of it at all, because I do still love boxing. But where it wasn't even a thought in my mind before, it is now. So
Yeah.
yeah, it is a big motivation. I want to give my kids nice things. So this is the best way I know of doing it.
Do you think you need boxing like in your life, or do you need to be boxing in your life?
I think it's pretty much all I've done since I left school, really. I've done other things. I was supply teaching, done a few other things, and boxing. I've just loved boxing from day one, really. Um,
Mhm.
not even so much the fighting, really. Just like I just love boxing. And obviously coaching and managing other fighters now. I'm always going to be involved, so that's nice. In terms of the fighting, I don't think so. No, I think I can walk away from the fighting side of things pretty easily. Yeah, but hope to be involved with the boxing in one aspect or another. Hopefully, as long as I'm here. Hopefully, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like it's only right to move on and talk about the potential future for yourself. I think it's clear that there's a lot of fight. There's a fight that a lot of people have discussed, and it's a Johnny Fisher fight. I think he spoke about it in the immediate aftermath of his knockout of Alan Babbage. Was the potential of facing yourself. You was on Instagram Live on Sunday, the Sunday after obviously his fight. I think you've been honest and said sort of give me some time with that fight, but ideally when do you see sort of the idea of potentially facing Johnny Fisher?
Yeah, it is exciting, and I have to thank him really because that gave me a little bit of motivation and put me back in the public eye somewhat. So I'm very grateful for that to him. Um, and he's a lovely fella, he's nice. Obviously, he's a nice guy. So
Yeah,
that is the big fight, really. Yeah, that is the one that I look at and I think that'd be amazing.
yeah,
It would sell well.
yeah,
I've never proven to be beyond British title level, really. He's not proven at that level either. So hopefully, yeah, I've got to put a little bit of work in to probably earn it, and not in the sense of earning the fight because, like I say, he's best win Harry Armstrong and Babbage, solid fighters. But I'd like to think in years gone by, I've at least proven, to be as good as them. So I think it's just a case of like getting the public back on side. Getting the public some the confidence back in me that I'm going to perform. I'm going to turn up in shape and I'm going to perform to a good level after the clout fight. So I think in the immediate future now it's just about keeping in shape and getting a few more wins, and I think that fight will happen. Yeah. So I think it's a bit further down the line. I think they're going to go
yeah,
Manchester. I think to Australia. I'm told.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so possibly early next year. So we'll have to see what happens in the meantime. I'm actually quite shrewd. I'm not going to be taking no silly fights for small
yeah,
money in the meantime. I think that fight is there, and I'm going to do what's best for me in order to A, get the fight, and then be competitive. I don't like to speak about it. I'm going to win this. I'm going to win that because that's not how I am. I want to give myself the best chance of winning that big fight, be it Fish or anyone else. So yeah, I've been working really hard to be honest, but the other day I was miles off. I still felt miles off, being honest about it. People say, "You want to watch
yeah,
Fish in Manchester?" No, because I don't want to get knocked out on the telly. So so yeah, well, I'm working towards something. I think I will get another crack at the well, I say the big time in a big fight for myself, and yeah, I think I'll probably get one more crack at it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
definitely. When Johnny got asked the question at the press conference, he shed some light on the sparring between you, and he said, I think he said he was at university at the time, and he said it
Yeah,
was probably something that he weren't quite ready for, so he sort of inclined it that it was obviously more in your favour.
yeah,
I don't know if you could shed light on that. I know you spoke about it with Oscar at the Stomping Ground.
yeah.
I actually haven't caught up with that in you yet. But is there any sort of light that you could shed potentially on that sparring between you and Johnny?
Well, basically, I didn't know who we were, but I was just about to. I think I was like 4 weeks out from boxing Lucas Brown. I think I was 26 maybe. I think I was 26 at the time. And me at 26, I'm not the same guy I am now. So if you walked in the gym, I'm not bothered who you were, to be honest. I'm gonna try and
Yeah,
I'm gonna dominate it. So even in spots where I get my own head punched in, like even when I was playing Anthony Joshua, any of them, Joe Joyce, all of them, I wanted to hurt you. Um, so this kid walks in the gym. I'm 4 weeks out from boxing Lucas Brown. So do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm trying to punch his head in, and
Yeah.
we were so. And obviously, I got top side of it because
Mhm.
he was a novice, which I didn't
Yeah.
know at the time. So,
Yeah.
so I'm proper saying about him, and we do 6 rounds. And after the spar, I said to Barker, I said, "Fucking hell!" I said, he's fucking tough him, and he was
Yeah.
strong and all. He was strong, and he could punch. And Barker, I said, who's he? And I don't think even he knew we were, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm at university. I'm doing a bit of boxing. I thought, fucking hell, I thought you're gonna be an armful if you stick at this.
Yeah.
He just kind of kept me. We started sparring Joe Joyce, and he ended up turning pro, and looked novice early on. And I think he still looks a bit novice at times. But because I've shared a ring with him, I understand. Like, while he might not be the prettiest boxer, like he might not look the best, he's very strong and heavy-handed and tough. And that was 5 years ago. So I think he's really good. I think he's really good. I think, he could easily be the best of the domestic bunch at the minute.
Definitely. Yeah.
Eddie said he saw him he could see him beating Wardley and Clark, and I don't think I disagree with him either.
Mhm.
So, so yeah, and a lovely kid as well, a lovely kid.
Yeah.
And like I say, I did take liberties that day with him because that's how I was. I always
Yeah.
sparred that, whether it be someone I didn't know or a world champion. I like that. So yeah, but I did get top side of it. So yeah, it's 1-0 to me, I guess. I sparred him twice actually. I sparred him twice, so it's two. So,
Yeah.
but no, he was hard work even then, just because he was such an athlete and so big and strong. So he was hard work even then.
So, did you just saying that you sparred him twice? What was the time frame between you sparring him the first time and the second time?
About 2 weeks after, I was at Tony Sims's
Okay. All
gym.
right.
I went to Tony Sims's gym, and it was Johnny and Will Jones who trains
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
trains a
was
huge
literally, mate.
fight.
I literally just had his hoodie on. I literally just had his hoodie on.
Yeah,
So,
so it was
yeah.
them two. They were doing like 2 in 2 out, I think, for first 8, and I think they started doing 1 in 1 out.
Mhm.
And did 12 rounds at my last spar before the Brown fight.
Yeah.
And yes, I didn't usually spar 12 rounds. And that was hard work and all, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I just remember watching Fisher when he turned pro, and everyone was saying, oh, he's not very good, this kid. But because I sparred him, fuck, I knew an handful, and I
Mhm.
knew he improved and he got his boxing and whatever else. He's going to be an handful in it, and he's proven right. So I'm over the moon for him because he's a lovely kid, But obviously, if the fight does happen, I've liked opponents before, and it is what it is.
Definitely. Just a last one on the Fisher fight, and I don't mean this in like a disrespectful way, but I did want to ask the question to yourself. When you look at it now with your two, with the trajectory of your two, both of your careers, say the Fisher fight does happen, he's this undefeated sort of fighter that wants to push on for domestic level, and for yourself, you've been at the top level. How much is it important for yourself to prove that the fan to and prove to the people, I guess, that this isn't like a you don't want this to be looked at as a stepping stone for Johnny Fisher. And I don't mean that in any
No,
disrespectful
no,
way
I,
to
th I think
yourself.
you're right, though. I think that's what the fight is seen as. If the fight
Mhm.
was to happen, that's what it is. They're not,
Yeah,
Eddie's not going to ring me and say, look, come and watch Johnny Fisher and beat him. You
yeah,
know, Whoever they picked to watch Johnny Fisher in the near future was stepping stones.
hmm
And that's what it is. I was popular at one point, but I was never selling 7,000 tickets out of my hands. So, you know, that's what it is. I'm a stepping stone, but I'm not a world beater. Like I'm not a world beater. I'm not the biggest. I don't hit the hardest. I'm not necessarily the best at anything, but I know what I am, and I'm hard work. I'm hard work for anybody because I'm awkward and strong. And experienced now. It's like Fraser Clark. Fraser Clark looked terrible
yeah,
against me.
hmm
But that's what I do. And people give me a lot of stick, but any heavyweight in the world right now, all of them, uh, Joshua, Fury, Usyk, any of them, they'll all tell you, Dave Allen, yeah, he's horrible because it's what I do. It ain't pretty. Like I watched Boucetta the other day. The timer stopped him in a minute. I've gone 4 rounds with him. it's not what I do. I don't bang people out. I'm not fast. It ain't pretty. But if you're not pretty good, I'll beat you. You know, if you're not pretty good, I'll beat you. And if you're very good, you're gonna work out to look good against me. You know, and for Johnny, I'm looking after Johnny, or any of these kids at British title level. A good fight for them all. You know, even if they do beat me, they're gonna have to work hard. They're gonna see something they've not seen before. And if you're not British title level, I don't think you're beating me even at this point. You know, so I think people that know boxing will understand that because, like I said, I'm not. It ain't pretty what I do. It's not nice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, no, for sure.
like I'm horrible. People don't understand how strong I am. I'm like a fucking bear, and
Yeah.
I'm just horrible. Like you're not hitting me on the chin. Do you know what I mean? And I'm gonna grab
That,
hold of you, and it's ugly.
because
It's
But what you saying there, like I said that to a lot of people when in terms of, and you used the Clark fight for an example where there was a lot of times in that fight where you made Clark look, you made it, you made it sort of, you made Clark not look great in that fight, and that's what I was saying with a fight like that. Like it's it's very tough to really sort of put a dent in you, I guess.
it is, but obviously people just a lot of people just say Dave Allen's no good. But the
Mm,
honest truth is, while I'm not a world beater, there's a reason. You Dylan White, Luis Ortiz, Tony Yoka. They never put me on my arse, and the quickest I've been beat is 7 rounds.
yeah.
And I weren't put down then, so I'm very good at what I do. I know my boxing and I know what I am. So I'm not fast, I'm not powerful, I'm not particularly anything really, other than strong, and I can bring you into my fight kind of thing.
Hmm.
And like the Nick Webb fight and a few others have proven, if you're not at British title level, I'll find you out. So, I'm probably finding that niche now where I'm like gatekeeper for the British title. And like when I beat Webb, I probably should have got a British title fight. And if I can beat Fisher, British title fight. That's probably my level. But like the Clark fight, it was disappointing for me because I knew if I was fully on it and fit and been active, I would have beat him. And I
Mm,
believe that. So the Fisher fight, yeah, people will write me off, but if I can get some activity together, at the very least, I'll give them something to think about for definite. But people will moan because it won't be pretty for a few rounds anyway, because I'll have to
yeah,
get through them. Fucking hard
yeah.
work. But it is what it is. I'm a realist, you know what I mean? I don't chat shit. I know what I am and what I'm not, so that's what it is.
Yeah, definitely for sure. You mentioned there about you spotting Anthony Joshua, and it'd be silly not to ask you about 21st of September. Obviously a former sparring partner, you could say of yourself. Anthony Joshua takes on Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium. I suppose it's a fight between AJ, who's been at the world level for a long time, against Dubois, who's just creeping onto the world level. For yourself, how do you assess this fight between the pair of domestic heavyweights?
I think it's a good fight. I think Anthony Joshua, obviously, since the Usyk fight's come back and he's not put a foot wrong, really. He's looked really good, hasn't he?
Hmm.
Obviously, you can argue the level of competition hasn't been, a elite status. But how many elite heavyweights is there right now? So
Yeah.
he's beat in front of him. He's looked great doing it. And Daniel Dubois, again, post Usyk, hasn't put a foot wrong either. The last two fights for Dubois have been exceptional, Miller and Hergovic. So I think it's a really good fight. I think it's probably a fight. The two of the top five in the world right now. They have to be. So,
Hmm.
and they're both British, and it's at Wembley, so it doesn't really get any better than that. Obviously, the IBF title, it is what it is. I don't know. I have no interest in all the politics of boxing and the organization, whatever they are, IBF and all that bollocks. So, but it's a good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight. I sparred the Dubois once as well. He nearly
Oh, okay.
fucking
I was gonna say I didn't know if you sparred
he nearly snapped my fucking neck. It
them.
was awful. You know what? I was sparring Joe Joyce. I did four with Joyce and four with Clark, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, and then, oh, there's a young kid here. Can he get in? I said, of course he can get in. Anyway, then the bar gets in. I thought, fucking hell. So
Yeah.
the round starts, he's with a fucking jab. I swear to God, I thought my forehead was like up and down my back. And I thought, wow. So I did 2 rounds with him. And I thought, wow, he's good. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So,
Hmm.
but uh, but I think Anthony Joshua's a big favourite, to be honest.
Yeah.
Wild lately has been on a good run. He's been getting it too much. You know, the Hrgovic fight. You do think if Joshua gets the same success, it ain't going to last too long.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
Dubois is big and strong and dangerous himself, so I think Joshua's a favourite. But you know, you can't rule Dubois out, to be honest. So it's definitely looking forward to it. The whole show is amazing as well. It's good.
Yeah, definitely. Just the last one on AJ. I was listening to the Talk Boxing podcast with Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver. I think it was episode 78. They were talking about AJ almost having like sort of like PTSD for when he gets hit on the chin with Dubois, and Dubois does carry power.
Mm.
Do you feel like that is always a case of AJ post Andy Ruiz, that there's always that worry if he does get hit on, right on the chin, that he may revert to that way, and it may bring back sort of things from how bad the Ruiz fight was with it?
Well, what I would say is I sparred Robert Helenius. Robert Helenius hits harder than Dubois. People might not believe that, but from my experience, Helenius was a huge puncher. Only for a couple of rounds, but he was a ridiculous puncher. So
Yeah.
I don't buy into that really. You know, he's come back
Yeah.
and he's regained he regained his heavyweight title against Ruiz. You know, he's
Yeah.
gone 12 rounds with Usyk twice. You know, he's been with other very good heavyweights. Like I said, not elite, but he's been with some other world-class heavyweights. I've not really seen any signs of this PTSD bollocks, whatever
Yeah.
they're on about. I
Yeah.
think that's nonsense, to be honest. A bit disrespectful to say that. He come back and regained the title, you know, and he's been in top company since. So I think that's a bit of a mad statement. But Dubois is capable of knocking him out, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
I don't think this ghost of the Ruiz fight is anything to worry about. It was 5 years ago, and he's been in top company ever since. I've not really seen anything that made me go, wow, you know, like wow, he's struggling with that. So I don't agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And just lastly, how is the stable getting along? Joe Hayden, so still
Yeah,
yet to drop around. So yeah,
yeah, he's
all good things
flying.
concerned for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's flying. Obviously, like you know, he had an amateur fight and lost it at a gym near me, and then he come to me, and his first amateur fight with me weren't even 3 years ago. And he's boxing in
Mm.
2 weeks and to go 15-0 as a pro. So, you know, that improvement in that amount of time. He sparred 8 rounds today with three different kids, and one of them a
Yeah.
world-class talent, and the other two are decent as well. And it was amazing, really. Like, look how happy I get talking about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
He's good, you know, he's good. He's very good, yeah. Just gonna take time. And obviously got a few other fighters as well. They're all doing
yeah,
good and you know, that's my enjoyment really. I really,
yeah,
really, yeah, it gives me much happiness. You know, it's just three kids from like my village and like the next village on. You know, they're
yeah,
all about professional boxers. You know, one's 14 as a pro, 14 as a pro. He only lives half a mile down the road. You
yeah,
know, so I just love it, man. I love it because boxing gave me a life I could never have dreamed of. So for me to get these kids and you know, hopefully try and do the same, that is a real really enjoy it, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely, for sure. Dave, as always, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Really, really do appreciate catching up with you. And I will we'll drop the link of your YouTube channel in the description. I know
Yeah, but
you've been posting quite.
you'll never guess what. Went on
Go on.
YouTube today. I don't run the YouTube. My missus does because I can't
Oh,
work technology. I don't know how to work it. I don't understand. I made 49p today. Can you believe that?
please,
Crazy, isn't
don't
it?
spend it
Somebody
all at
put
once,
49p. Yeah, 49p. I said, what do you mean I made 49p? She went, look at this. This one video I put on made 20p. And I thought, wow.
mate.
And my dad came and his videos made 1p. So I've got to give him 1p now. So
Yeah, perfect.
yeah, mad game. Yeah.
Yeah, mental, mental. But yeah, Dave, as always, mate, thank you for taking time to speak to me, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, mate. Enjoyed it. Thank
Top
you.
man.